Okay, where do we even start? At this point, you need to be warned or informed if you don't know that by 2030, AI could replace 800 million jobs. That's 800 million in 5 years. That's wicked, but the real question is actually which jobs are safe, because we might be stepping into uncharted territories without even realizing. So let's unpack why these tools might actually be on the blink of world domination. Like I said, tools. That's what they are, but we'll get to that in a minute. Want to know the scary part about all this AI replacing human talk? It's not even the numbers or how fast AI keeps advancing. No, it's the number of concepts that's been developed by humans every single day. Have you heard of Cognify? Or, as this headline reads, the prison of the future? The core idea here is to offer prisoners a choice between traditional incarceration and the form of rehabilitation that involves implanting artificial memories designed to invoke empathy and remorse for their actions. Still a concept, but if it gets all the rights, regulations, and approvals, then the inventors say it could be ready in less than a decade. It's one of the many innovative ideas that humans have actually developed as regards AI being the prison of the future. Which brings us to the first truth of the jobs that are most likely at risk. Let's talk customer service. Almost every time you open a website, there's an AI chat box asking if you need assistance. It's rarely ever a human unless you start to ask some questions that it's not programmed to answer. Only then does it refer you back to a human. If we had 100 plus people jump on sites looking for the solution to an issue, and every single one of those 100 persons typed the same thing into the chat box, because computers and servers are so good and fast these days, in seconds, everyone is receiving the same response. But we could make a case for some industries that still need humans, because take for instance finance. You still need a human present to actually verify and go through certain documents before it's approved. Then you can say that tax is actually completed. But let's stay on the topic of finance for a bit, because I'm sure at this point you've already heard of AI agents. And if you don't know what AI agents are, because they are typically different from your average AI models, agents are basically the backbone of any AI application. In simple terms, AI is the raw brain power that is smart and has all these great potentials, but isn't actually useful unless you give it a job. And agents are the hands that actually take action and get the job done. There's a video that explains what an AI agent actually is, and I'll link that below if you'd like to see that. And ChatGPT is not an agent, or is it? Comment down below if you think ChatGPT is a tool or an agent. There's a whole lot going on in the finance space that we don't know about. For one, there's an article that points out how companies like OpenAI and Coinbase are working on how to implement AI agents to help reduce gap in financial limitations, or how the UAE plans to do a makeover in its banking sector. And I just found out that the UAE has the world's first AI university called Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence. I don't know if robots are the teachers there, but I'd like to visit it sometimes, and even teachers aren't safe. But let's give it a thought. It's good to actually pay attention to these things, because when banks start to integrate these systems and AI agents into the banking sector, then you have to start wondering why your money is being handled by a computer and not an actual human. Yes, humans are prone to errors, and they both have their pros and cons, but it's a robot, so let's be optimistic. But who knows, before 2030, those limitations can actually be broken and you can throw everyone out of the bank. But how much and how well will you trust these tools with your finances? And it's not just customer service or finance. Take a look at transportation. A few months ago, we saw a ton of Tesla vehicles drive themselves out of the factory from their loading dock. Tesla have, if not already, done pretty good with self-driving cars. But remember the robo-taxi unveiled last year with the robo-van that looks like a van from the movie iRobot? That's still a thing Tesla is working on, but the main idea for everyone considering EVs and self-driving vehicles is basically how to make these vehicles fully autonomous. And if by speculation we eventually get these self-driving cars and they can be affordable, what happens to Uber taxis and drivers? In reality, if the job relies on repeatable, predictable processes, it becomes vulnerable the more routine the tasks, the easier it is for these tools to eventually take over. So you might be wondering, is every job at risk? Not quite. There's a glimmer of light for some group of people, and these are creatives, jobs that require emotional intelligence and complex decision making. So just like we saw with the customer service example, being a creative is a creative process, and that process involves coming up with ideas, creating content, publishing it online, engaging with audience. And all this process requires imagination and creativity and the human perspective, which AI simply can't replicate. And with these tools, while they can help you write scripts and generate videos and images, they still lack the cultural understanding and emotional nuance that a human creator brings. We've got a video coming out soon where we test different AI tools to see which one is more accurate and efficient. So subscribe and stay tuned for that. But the key thing to note is AI can mimic but can't originate through artistry, and how to build a compelling story still requires a human mind. There are those spaces where humans still have an edge over these machines, like healthcare, skill trade, and anything that has to do with emotional intelligence and basically making decisions. Although we have machines that are capable of performing surgeries. If you've seen this episode from House MD, where they had to use a machine to perform surgeries, that was far back as the year 2000. Who would have thought they had such machines at the time? But that just goes to say that if we as humans can start to develop rehabilitation prisons, what's stopping us from developing machines that could perform brain surgeries from start to finish without the presence of a human? But make no mistake, the takeaway here is to stay ahead of the game and try not to compete with these tools, because that's already a losing battle. So final thoughts, how do you actually stay ahead of the AI curve? First, you want to embrace lifelong learning. Remember how we kept on saying these things are tools? Think of it as a supercharged assistant. They'll continue to learn and get smarter with the amount of information we feed it, and with that information, they get smarter over time. So as it gets smarter, we as humans need to find a way to integrate the use of these tools into our everyday workflow. So the key is to leverage AI as a tool, because people who succeed in the future are those who work with AI as opposed to fight against it. So remember, calculators came out and didn't really replace mathematicians. So AI isn't technically going to replace humans. Instead, they should help us enhance our capabilities. So let me know what you think. How would you be using these tools moving forward? Leave a comment below, and until the next one, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Exit to Excel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.